Oh my god. Oh my god. It's been a day. It's been a day. I don't know how to stream. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never done this before. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know why things are going on. I am just here. Anyway, welcome in. I legitimately sat here and I was like, what do I do? Like, I was like, I know today is just going to be a hangout and chill and talk stream. But at the same time, it's like, I haven't done these in such a long time. I feel like I don't know what's going on. Did you duty the jury? Oh, you darn tootin' I did. You're absolutely right. I I dutied the jury. You know it. Welcome in, Cray. Yeah, I still can't believe that, you know, I'm kind of, every time I hear or see Cray's name, I think of the fact that I took the time to create / also find copy pastas and slam them together, send it in anonymously, and then Cray's like, you know what? Nah, I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this viewer is so stupid. Oh my god, this blah blah. You're just like, no, I'm gonna respond. And you know what's funny? I downloaded the app so that I could see the full response, and I was like, oh my god. And then in the tweet, people are like, I can't believe I read this. This is horrible. This is horrific. What is going on here? And I'm like, I sent it in. How do you think I feel? I'm like, ugh. But I did duty the jury. I have my notes. So throughout the entire day, I have been basically writing down anything and everything that I could think of for, you know, streams, because I was like, you know, I'm gonna forget all these very nuanced specific details, so I'll just write it down on my notepad, right? So I have a lot, like most of them are very minor details, but primarily they're like they're interesting, right? But I gotta start out by how the day actually began. So I woke up like 6 a.m. or something like that, and I woke up because I thought I was late, and I was like, wait, I'm fine. I have like 4 hours until 10:30, because that's when I needed to be there. And I'm like, so I knew that sometimes jury duty can be very easy. Sometimes you just walk in there, you know, you're done, and then you're gone in an hour or two. Other times you're there literally for hours. So it's like, I was like, I'm gonna eat breakfast, so I got that. I did some blueberries, some raspberries, a few other things. Also, I didn't have any oats, otherwise that would have been like the most Poggers oatmeal ever. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But oh, by the way, let me know if the music is too loud or not. Hopefully it isn't. Otherwise, I'll throw myself off a building. But you know, it was pretty fine. You know, the only thing I did different was, you know, I put on my Sunday best, right? Basically, I was wearing like business professional, and I was like, you know, I've been to a few courthouses in my life, and it's like, either they're perfectly fine with AC, like they're just, you know, it's fine, or it's just unimaginably like cold, and you don't get any choice in between. It's just like, also interesting song choice. I'm just gonna skip it. But I was like, well, I don't want to wear a suit jacket. I'm way overdressed for this. And it's like, but at the same time, it's like, it's too hot to wear a hoodie, you know? And I feel like if I wore a hoodie, that would be a bit too much. So I was like, all right, fine. So I'm ready long before I actually need to head out over there, right? I'm like, I'm done like way beforehand, because it only takes me like, I am a very efficient person. I will wake up and I will like, give me 10 minutes. I'm good to go. Hair, clothes, gear, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm good to go, right? And I'm a master of this, because I don't know. I'm just very efficient with my time, I feel like. Because I feel like for one of the reasons why I'm so not successful, but should I say like able to keep my commitment to streaming, is because of the fact that like I'm so efficient in so many ways that instead of like wasting a lot of time, especially in my free time, to like inefficiency, I make sure all the things I got to do like every day, like cooking, or, well, not every day, but you know what I mean, like cooking or getting dressed or showers and stuff like that. Like, obviously if I have time to be leisurely, sure, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, it didn't work to my detriment, because I'm sitting there and I'm like, I got like an hour or two before I need to go over there. So I'm like, you know what? Let me humble myself. I was like, I'm gonna go early, and it's like my acceptable on time was gonna be like 45 minutes before, right? So like 9:45. I got there at like what did I write it down? Yeah, I got there at like 9. Because I'm like, I legitimately was just sitting at my desk, and I was just like, my brain hurts. I can't, like, well, my brain doesn't hurt. I'm just like, I can't do anything. Can't really do much. So I'm like, whatever. Also, hi. So I get into my car. It's like 9-ish or something. Yeah. Well, no, it's like 8:30. I don't even remember. Okay, the timeline is kind of screwed on this because I didn't write that down. I thought I would remember. I'm a genius. So anyway, I get in the car and I'm driving down, and obviously the courthouse is in the deep, dark abyss called downtown. So it's surprisingly very uneventful. Obviously a little bit annoying to navigate, even though I'm used to it. So it was just like, So I get down there with basically no issue whatsoever. No one cut me off. I didn't cut anyone off. I didn't crash, anything like that. I just got there. So that was nice, honestly, because normally whenever I'm going downtown or anything like that, it's definitely like annoying. It's definitely frustrating. And obviously, I think everyone's like this. Everyone avoids going downtown if they can, regardless of how big or small their city is. It's like, I don't want to go down there. Like, F that. But I pull into this parking garage, right? And they're like, hey, if you can get to these floors, you can get free parking. And I'm like, say less. So I pull into the parking thing, and lady hands me a little plastic thing, and I'm like, okay, sure. Also, this music, I'm trying to get background music, but this is too much. I need my moon music, as they say. It's like bah, 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 drum and bass in the background. I'm just like talking like, no, that's improper. What do I win? We'll figure that out later. So I get into the parking garage, and by the way, this thing is ginormous. Like, it is huge. And she's like, hey, go to like one of the highest levels. And I'm like, huh? And I'm like, because on the paper that I was given, it was like, yeah, just park on like the 4th level and above, and you're fine. I'm like, huh? And the lady's like, no, you got to park on like the nth level. And I'm like, okay. So I'm going up, right? I'm going up, and if you've ever driven up in a parking garage or been a passenger, you know how like once you turn the corner, like it kind of messes with your brain. Now imagine doing that like 7 times, and I'm going up, and like I'm kind of like I don't really get full steam until I'm locked into something in the morning. So like I need to have something in front of me to do in order for me to really wake up. And I mean, I was awake obviously, but I wasn't like fully attentive. So I'm going around. So the 1st floor, I go up the ramp, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, 5th floor, 6th floor, 7th floor. I keep going, and it's just like, oh my god, like this is insane. And anyway, I get to the top of this darn thing, all right, and I literally feel like I'm queasy because of how many times I've had to just go in a circle. And if you've ever been in a parking garage, this, like, those corners are tight. You can't like take a leisurely pace. Like, you have to take really, like, if you're not going even if you're not going fast, you have to kind of crank it around. So I get up there without basically any issue, right? I'm feeling a little queasy, but I'm like, whatever. Pull in, park, everything's fine. Grab my stuff. I was smart. I ate beforehand, and I also had a bottle of water. So I was basically good to go for the day, right? I had my water. I had no books because I was going to decide that I was just going to sit there and think, because I don't really do that a lot. One of the things that I don't have a lot of time to do is just be bored. And I know that may sound weird, but like, think about the times where in the past week, past year, past month, whatever the case, you've ever just sat down for like 2 or 3 hours and just did nothing. You just like stared at a wall. Like, I know it may sound like, well, yeah, that's kind of like the goal to not do. And it's like, exactly. But it also allowed me to just kind of think. But I'll get to that in a moment, right? So I pull into the parking garage. I go over the elevator. Get into the elevator. Not really too many issues. It still felt like an acid trip going up. I'll be completely honest with you. But as I get into the elevator, right? I'm seeing like there's just a bunch of people. There's other fellow jurors that are jumping in too, because there was, I think, like a 9:30 a.m. thing, and I was at 10:30 or whatever, or 8:30, I don't know. But I get in the elevator, and there's like a bunch of random normal people, right, me included. And then there's like obviously like very clearly like attorneys and stuff like that. And you know, how do you know? I don't know. I'm guessing, right? So I get in the elevator, and I'm gonna bring this up because I don't know if it was an attorney. I don't know if it was like a clerk or something. I don't know. All I will say is that they had on a very like well-fitted suit, right? And it was like a cream color-ish, and like no, it wasn't cream. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe the color. It messed with my eyes because I was looking at it. But anyway, they have a really nice suit, and he's got a Louis Vuitton bag, right? And now I know he's an attorney because he was reading like court stuff, and he was like kind of talking to himself, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I was like, all right, I guess that's what happens. And I see him holding a Louis Vuitton bag, and he has a bow tie. Now he looks exactly like, hold on, I couldn't remember the name of the guy, but like the guy that has white hair and it's kind of spiked up, and he wears really fitted suits and bow ties. That guy, if you know who I'm talking about, that's exactly who he looks like, right? So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I've never seen this before. Also, welcome in, Sin. Welcome in, Stebio. Welcome in, Freya. I get to the bottom floor. I'm like, fine, this is great, right? So I'm walking over to, like, the jury thingy or whatever, like the building they have for jurors, and I'm talking to this guy along the way because I got down to the bottom. He was like, man, where the hell is this? And I was like, oh, here, you know, and he's like, oh, thank you. So I started talking to him, right? You know, I helped him out. He helped me out. And we both were like amicable. So we're walking down. He has to go like a block to the right, but I have to keep going. So, you know, he was telling me about how he like found $5 on the floor, and like he didn't grab it because like he could see very clearly across the street there was like a I don't know, is it a less than homed individual eyeing it? And he was telling me like, you know, they're either perfect or they're not. And I'm like, yeah, it is what it is, right? So I have a little nice conversation with that. And by the way, I'm still following. And the guy, the attorney dude that looks like he's like from like RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that, like in a really nice suit. Nothing extreme or anything. By the way, not slander, just saying, right? I get to the courthouse thing unaffected. Everything's fine. I get in there, right? Now keep in mind, I am locked and loaded 24/7. I'm not one of those people that just walk into situations unprepared. I'm that guy that I got everything, right? You know. And I walk into the juror's courthouse or juror thing, whatever, and you have to go through a metal detector, right? Now, if you don't know, metal detectors are a pain in the ass. They always suck, but everyone has a problem with them except me. I always get through first try. You know why? Because I pay attention. Also, this song sucks. Bad. We need better music. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the Lockdown Protocol no copyright sounds as the BGM. It'll be perfect. It'll be fine. But no, it's being absolutely silly. So let me go ahead and fix that. I was like, oh, this is fine. And then I'm like, I'm getting knocked out of my story because I keep noticing the BGM, and I'm like, can you tell I'm a great streamer? Also, welcome in, Yuzu. Let's see here. What do you know what? I saw this song. Hi. Oh, ye old marble. Grazie. So anyway, I walk in there, right? And I put everything into the boxes. Nothing really problematic. I had to take off my suit jacket. I had to take off all that crap. Now, here's a funny thing. One of them told me I needed to take off my shoes. So I took off my shoes, right? Then the lady next to her was like, no, you don't need to take off your shoes. And I'm like, huh? Okay. And then she's like, well, just put the shoes in anyway. And I'm like, huh? Put it in there. I get in no problem, right? I get in no problem. However, I will say, one of the ladies was asking me a question, and I was just like, yeah, I was just like talking to her. You know, I have a good and bad habit where I like to talk to random people just because I think it's cool. And mainly because it's easy for me, simply because of the fact that like I know I'm never gonna see these people ever again. So it's like, it's like talking to an NPC for a quest you're never gonna do again. It's like, oh, it's that one, you know? Now, obviously, I don't think they're NPCs. I'm just saying as a reference, right? Let's see. Back to work. You have a 10 top. I only lurketh for now. Sounds good. Me who uses PS1 music for my BGM when I actually have it. That's smart, though. That's good. That's smart. That's actually, like, intelligent. Me, I'm just like, well, copyright free, right? So this black lady, you know, she's talking to me, I'm talking to her, right? And by the way, one of the reasons why I think that they talk to me is because of the fact that, like, if you're, imagine you're working the metal detector all day, you don't talk to anyone except, like, your coworkers. Isn't it nice just to talk to someone random, like, throughout your day? I know whenever I'm having a day where I'm just hanging out with the same people, anyone that's new is like, oh my god, you know, it's like, thank God, you know. So I'm talking to her, and you know, and by the way, my life is complete. I know my day is gonna go great because she called me sweetheart, and it was great. It was amazing. We had a nice conversation. Everything was fine. Get through the metal detector. Everything's good. Now this is where I noticed things may start going down. Is I look down at my dress shirt because I'm in business casual basically, and I look at my dress shirt and I see these like little holes, like perforated in certain areas, and I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I've never seen these before. What happened? Like, was I that stupid? Like, did I brush into a tree? Did I like brush up against something sharp? Like, what's going on here? And then I realized, I was like, wait, they're in patterns. Why are the holes in and I was like, the kitty. So unfortunately, Lord Byron, because I normally he doesn't do this, but I think it's because I put it out, like, instead of just keeping it in the closet like I normally do, I kind of had it all set in front of, like, the door so that I could just grab it. It was just, like, a matter of, like, de-stressing me. Lord Byron, I think, throughout the night was just like, So that sucks, because it's not an expensive dress shirt, but, like, you know, there's no such thing as a cheap dress shirt. But it goes without a hitch. I go down, to the area where it's like the jury area, and they have this like complimentary coffee thing, and it's like, here, grab your ticket for complimentary coffee. And I'm like, ooh, coffee, and I'm like, I don't drink coffee anymore. That I will say that is the roughest thing about it. It's the roughest thing about not drinking coffee is the fact that, like, it is the most normalized addiction outside of alcohol. It's like insane. I don't struggle with alcohol, so, like, it's not an issue, but, like, but I gotta stick to my morals or whatever, right? Well, I'm gonna have another frustrating day today, so gonna have to make the most of it, perhaps. You got this, Rye. You got this. I believe in you. Just like I believe in myself to not drink coffee, even though I was offered it for free. But anyway, I get down there, right? So they have these rooms. There's like multiple rooms where they put jurors in for certain sections of the day. Right, so the first section of the day, I came down when they were getting like briefed or whatever, and they're like, oh, you're gonna be a juror, you're gonna be taken to this place, you're gonna be doing that, this is your responsibility, all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool, right? So I get into my room, I'm sitting there, no one's there. There's like maybe 2 other people there, and I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. I'd never turn down the coffee. I lack the strength of will. Yeah, it's a testament to my pain constantly. Don't believe in yourself, believe in me who doesn't believe in you. Exactly right, gets it. I sit down, everything's fine. But I'm not gonna lie to you. The jury room, the way they had it set up was kind of like a college lecture hall where you have a lectern in the front and a bunch of seats. The only difference is that the seats were actually off. My ass still hurts. Like, my back still hurts because of, like, how bad those seats were. Like, and I literally took my suit jacket and sat on it because it was that bad. I was like, this is horrible. Like, oh my god. Like, like, if we're gonna waste our money on taxes, at least spend it on good stuff, so at least we're not suffering, right? Oh man, we're making chiropractor some money here with just how bad my back is getting screwed up. But I'm sitting there, but here's the thing as well. I'm exhausted as well. So I'm sitting there, my back hurts, my butt hurts. I'm like, but at the same time, I'm exhausted as well. Because, like, I'm the type of person that I'm very much so reactive. I'm not proactive with, like, energy. So, like, if I need to be very energetic, no problem. I can react to it. But if there's nothing stimulating going on, I cannot summon energy. It's just how I am. I mean, I can force it, right? But, like, that requires a lot of energy just to do. I just feel sorry for that bird flapping its wings, never getting anywhere. Hey. That bird will get there. Believe, trust, as Spine would say. But I sat down in that chair, right? And my butt hurts, my back hurts, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. And you want to know what happens? I start rethinking my entire life. I legitimately, I had a random intrusive thought. I'm like, your birthday is in a few days. You know, and I'm like, damn, you right. It's on the 21st. It's 1, 2, 3 days from now. And I'm like, damn, this is bad. So I'm sitting there and it's like 9:30ish or something like that. And I rethought my entire life. Now, obviously 99% of this is like doxing stuff, so I won't say it, but I was like, okay, like I was like goal setting. I was like doing a post-mortem.
That poor burb.
Oh, yep. Poor bird. Go ISO. But yeah, I basically sat there for like 30-40 minutes, just like staring at the floor, like, you know, my hands kind of in my lap, just kind of staring at the floor, just thinking about stuff. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like I knew that was gonna happen when I came over, but it was so like, it was one of those moments where I was like, damn, I need to do this more often, you know? Because it was very like unique in the fact that like normally whenever I think about stuff, it's just I'm thinking about thoughts, so they're not very productive. But because I was in a new atmosphere and a new situation, like I got like really nice context, perspective. I don't know what the word is. And I was just like, this is interesting. This is insane, you know? So I spent like 40 minutes just kind of like literally just sitting there staring at the floor thinking. So that was actually quite nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, it was kind of like, there were some moments where I was like cringing. I was like, like, oh God, you know, just like, bing ding out. This is painful, But otherwise, it was fairly successful. It was very good. But, you know, after about those 45 minutes, people start trickling in. It's like what, like 9:30, 9:45 at this point now. So people are slowly starting to trickle in. Well, this lady comes in and she's like, hey, if you have pre-registered, or if you got an email or a text about your service, and that means you're pre-registered, you're fine. And I'm like, okay. So, and I asked her, I was like asking for clarification. I was like, oh, so like X, Y, and Z, I did this. Does that mean that it's blah, blah, blah? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I sit down, right? Then she's like, oh, hey, yeah, even if you did that, you need to register. And I'm like, this is what it's like working for the government. This is what it's like working for the government or the military. It's like, hurry up. Okay, now you need to wait for 3 hours. Okay, you're a little early. Okay, and it's your fault. Totally not mine. You need to wait. So anyway, I get up, I register, I come back down. No big deal. It's fine. But at this point, people started trickling in. There's a bunch of people. There are people from all walks of life. I see people that are like in business suits and stuff. I see people that are in like overalls and stuff. I see people that are in like, you know, like college class or like high school class stuff, like everyone, right? Like just literally all over the place, which is really cool, not gonna lie. Because I was like thinking, you know, it must be really bad for the attorneys, like trying to figure out who the hell to pick, because everyone literally is all over the place. Like at least if everyone was kind of like the same-ish, like it's kind of easy. Well, not easy, but like, you know, the types, you know, right? But you know, like how do you get, like you can get nuance if everyone is kind of similar, but everyone is so like different. And so like the dressing, the you know, the walks of life, it was actually insane. But you know, it is what it is, right? But one of the thoughts I did have when I was sitting there is, because, you know, I got back, I sat down, and I kept thinking, is that like it's crazy how we don't like being bored anymore. Like I remember, you know, I would just be bored all the time for no reason, just bored. And then what would be interesting as well is that, like, you know, I didn't see anything wrong with it. It was just like, I'm bored today. It is what it is. But now it's like being bored is a bad thing. Like, and it's not like something that's ever like taught to you. It's just something that's like you kind of pick up by nature of being in like an internet society. It's like, if you're not doing something, you're wasting your time. If you're not, or that type of like pressure, like if you're not, you know, if you're not doing something, you're wasting your time, or like being bored is bad because you have all these other things you can do. And then I forgot about like how like important it is just to be bored every now and again. Just like take 30 minutes to just stare at a wall, right? Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe something will. In my case, I was able to think a lot. It was nice. You know, normally I get like philosophical or super scared, or not. Well, I think existential is the word I'm searching for, but like, you know, very like wise man hours, normally around my like birthday and like the end of the year. Those are like the only 2 times typically I get like super like into like thinking about where I am now, where I want to go, and all that good stuff. So very much wise man hours, right? But this is kind of where brain rot started, because the same lady that was like, oh, you need to, you know, do this. Oh, no, you don't need to do this. Oh, wait, now you do. Came into the room and kept playing this freaking PowerPoint every 10 minutes. Now, I understand that you need to communicate information to jurors. I'm one of them. I needed the information, right? But the fact is that they didn't full screen it. So you could see the VLC media player. Like, it was literally like they didn't even bother hitting F11 or F12 or whatever the key is, right? And every like 10 minutes, there would be a video being like, hi, I'm X, Y, and Z, X County's district clerk. Thank you for answering your jury summons. We want to thank you for your momentous service to blah. And it's just like, it's like for literally, I think I listened to it at least 15 times because it was just on every 10 minutes. Also, thank you for the 100 biddies cyanide and the 30 biddies. So time basically passes on. Not much happens. I'm going to be real. Not much happens. I'm just sitting there and people start flooding in. No one's talking. Everyone is on their phone except me, it seems like. And I'm just like, I'm bored as hell. I'm just like, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that I am more tired today than I am any other day, last week, this week, last month, whatever. Simply because of the fact that, like, being bored takes a lot out of me, it seems. Like, if I don't have stuff to do, like, my brain just, like, shuts down. And I'm not going to lie, I literally, like, whenever I wasn't, like, thinking very, like, intimately about things or whatever, like, right now, my legs were bouncing. Like, I was picking at my nails and stuff. Like, I just could not sit still. Because I was like, I had nothing to do, right? The Wi-Fi didn't work. I couldn't go on my phone. I couldn't do anything. And no one else could either. Everyone else was, like, reading comic books or whatever. And I'm like, man, I mean, I knew that this was going to happen, right? Like, I wasn't like, oh, man, no. I was like, I knew this. But I was like, this is insane, right? And it's like, I'm the only one that is, like, fidgeting around, just, like, you know, constantly bouncing my legs and just like going ham and crazy. So I'm like, this sucks. But I gotta say, I think I'm gonna get $30 or $20 or something like that for the jury service I did. So I'll take it, because apparently, you know, they're like, oh yeah, jurors in the past 10 years have gotten a raise for their service. And I'm like, so you're saying you're taxing us more to do the same thing? Okay, all right. Well, it is what it is. But hey, that was nice. I'm also looking through my notes as I go to make sure I have this wait is torturous. So 10:30 comes along and the lady walks in and she gives us an oath. She's like, you need to reduce all or get rid of all your bias and prejudice, and you need to do all this blah blah, you know, swear by this, so help me God. And I'm like, okay. You know, we do the oath, right? My mom got 50 because she had to sit there as a backup. Oh god. Yeah, at least if I got chosen, it was like something like that on the second day. I forgot. I'm sorry, but 10:30 comes along, and she's like, "Oh, we need to wait 15 more minutes, because you know, we want to make sure everyone gets here." So I'm like, okay, so the actual time I needed to be here was 10:45. So I got here like 2 hours plus, like before I needed to be here. And it's like. Now, I will sidebar here a bit, because at this point, okay, there's one person that really catches my mind, right? Just say I'm a hardcore racist and leave. I mean, you could definitely say that, but hey, maybe they want you on the jury simply because they know that you're trying to get out of it, you know? What if an attorney's a dick and it's like, you know what, I'll throw my case for a meme. But there's this person, right? Okay. Now, I have to talk about this very, very carefully because it was actually hilarious to me. But there was this gal that was sitting behind me, okay? And she caught my eye, not because of her herself, but because of, like, her outfit and, like, how she appeared to be. So you know that bias and prejudice that, like, the lady before just said you need to get rid of? Like, I was applying that right now. So this lady walks in, you know, she couldn't have been any older from, like, maybe 18 to 22. I don't know. She has like a very short haircut. She has like very thick rimmed glasses. She's wearing like very poofy pants and like, I guess like a crop top type thing or whatever. And she's wearing Doc Martens. And I shit you not, the book she was reading had a hammer and a sickle on it. Okay. I shit you not. I legitimately thought I was tripping. I legitimately thought that I was like, okay, like, am I coming up with, like, this is not a believable story. Like, this is legitimately how, like, I was thinking on the way home, I was like, how the hell do I tell the story? Right? Now, here's the funny thing. She sits right behind me, right? And I'm like, great. Now I can't stop thinking about this because it's like, how? How do you do this? She walks into the jury room, right? I'm sitting in the front, right? And I see her walk in, and I immediately, like, eye her up, and I'm like, okay, you're wearing this, blah, blah. By the way, not in a weird way, just like, how you normally would when someone walks into the room. And she sits down, and she's reading, right? Now, here's the reason why I'm telling this story. Okay, the entire reason I'm telling the story is not because of the typecast or anything like that. It's merely because of the fact that as she was reading the book, she was like highlighting every freaking paragraph. And the reason why I know that is even though she was sitting behind me, I could hear the highlighter that she was using just in the background, legitimately, and it would not stop. And this woman was just sitting there for like 30 minutes after, because keep in mind, she walked in at like 10ish or whatever. Then, we got the lecture, and then we got told, hey, they're not ready for us right now. We'll come back to you in a minute. So that entire time, this lady is just like, like highlighting it out. And it's so annoying to me because it's like, if you're highlighting that much information in a book, you're not really learning, right? Like, let's be real here. Whenever you're highlighting to an extent that like you're doing it like a paragraph on each page, I can guarantee you, because it's if she's reading the book that I think she was, because I've read it before, you don't need to do that, right? Like, the points lead up to one another, right? But anyway, she's doing that, and I'm like losing my mind because I'm like, how do I turn around and say, hey bitch, can you stop making so much fucking noise? No, I can't do that. That's rude. And I can't turn around and be like, hi ma'am, can you highlight well, please? You're highlighting too much. You're clearly not going to retain this information. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to put up with it, right? It's like, it is what it is. Right, so lady comes back in after about 30 minutes of us waiting. So it's now about 11:11, right? Make a wish. And I have this wait is unimaginably torturous at 11:11. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm thinking at this point, because they said, okay, the court is not ready for us. So that means we're good to go. We're signed in, we can walk over, we can do it. But the court's not ready. And I'm like, great. So I'm like, okay, is it the case where like, is it criminal? Is it civil? Like, I'm trying to figure this out before, because I'm like, this is obviously important to me. And I was like, okay, like, it's almost noon. I know for a fact the judges are going to go on lunch from like noon to 1. Probably. I mean, because everyone has lunch, right? They have to. Government employees too, right? So it's like, oh. So it's 11:11. I'm like, if we go over there, we're going to do the voir dire, which is jury selection. And then we're gonna have to like adjourn for lunch, and I'm like, this is gonna suck. Now, in my notes, court wasn't ready for this. How? We've been here 55 minutes after the report time, and how are they still not ready for us? We've been ready for 50. You can tell I'm starting to get frustrated because highlighter girl is. And by the way, she doesn't have flags. She doesn't have like sticky notes or anything, just highlighter. That's it, nothing else. I'm like, this is insane, right? Like, oh my God. So I'm like, F it, whatever. I start falling asleep, right? You have to understand, I need to be exhausted or just like unimaginably like bored for me to take a power nap during the day. I just can't take naps. It's impossible. It's difficult. So I'm sitting in my chair, right? And I'm kind of like sitting like in a weird pose, but like it's kind of comfortable. It is what it is. And I put my hand on my head, and I'm just like, slowly dozing off. And I would have slept more than 20 minutes, I'll be honest with you. But she's flipping the page. It's just constantly going on in the background, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Like, there's gonna be a murder trial, and I'm gonna be the damn suspect. Like, oh god. But my ability prevails. I take a power nap. I wake up, I hear a bunch of rustling, and the lady comes in, and she's like, hey, good afternoon, jurors, or good morning, jurors. We just want to let you guys know that the case that you were going to be assigned to in the court has been settled. Therefore, your jury duty has been completed. And I'm like, I've never been so angry at getting what I want. Because part of me really wanted to be on a jury because I knew that, like, it would be a once in a lifetime opportunity. However, I also didn't want to get on a criminal trial because of the simple fact and truth that, like, I think matters of the purse are a little bit less intense than matters of someone's life, you know? Your patience amazes me. It's not patience, it's my stupidity. I think that there's are equal words to describe how just I'm a silly guy, right? Now, obviously, I killed her as I went out, right? Like, as I left, I made sure I killed her in broad daylight. The homeless guy ate him. Or ate her, you know, all that good stuff. Anyway, just kidding. So she's like, oh, hey, you can go. Okay, so at this point, I just kind of woke up, so I'm kind of like, So I go to the bathroom, I clean up, I'm fine. I'm heading up. Now, there's like 2 stories to this. We were on the first story, but the way to get out of the building was on the second. I guess it was their way of, like, protecting us, I guess. I'm going up the stairs after everyone's been released. And by the way, there's no more. And I'm like, this is amazing. Fantastic. You know, and you know what's funny too? Okay. Yes, I was so annoyed. I was like pained. She started at like the first eighth of the book, right? By the time we were done, by the time we were released, she was like 60% of the way through the book. So this wonderful lady was sitting there and just for like the entire time. She did not read that thing at all, right? And by the way, I confirmed it was Karl Marx's Das Kapital, right? Which, by the way, kudos. Most people don't read anything except Marx's Communist Manifesto. So kudos, right? But not gonna lie to you, not a good look, not a good or you're reinforcing the stereotype wearing Doc Martens, which is a type of boot. You know, just imagine someone who walks around with a Karl Marx book and wears Doc Martens. There you go. That's who she was. Not even a joke. And by the way, you may be like, Raz, you're profiling. Raz, you're being discriminatory. They wore it. They came over to where I was doing jury duty and decided to look bung ass. Okay, I didn't choose that. They did. Okay, and by the way, I'm not saying it's a good look. I'm just saying the typecast. Raz, I look nothing like what I read and look like. I know. In this case, she did. Right? Like, whenever you see, like, because the meme is like, whenever, and by the way, I don't, like, this isn't always true. Like, this is a stereotype, right? So I'm just lampooning. But the spoofing, rather. But, like, when you see someone wearing Doc Martens and kind of presenting themselves in a certain way, you expect, like, oh, they're going to act or be a certain way. And then you're, like, actually surprised because they start acting that way. And you're like, what? And it's just like, no way. Maybe she wanted out of jury duty? No way. No way. Because here's the thing, right? Like, whenever, like, one of the things that they told us is that when you go into the area, you can't show any of the books that you have. You have to, like, put it away, right? And it's specifically for that reason, right? Like, it's just like, here, Das Kapital, please. I'm reading Marx. Let me go. Let me go. But they don't do that. They had, like, lockers where, like, you know, if you needed to put stuff up, you could, because, like, they knew that people were going to be there. Because they don't want to, you know, I think it's, like, they don't want to poison the jury pool. Because, like, imagine I walk in and I'm, like, holding, like, I don't know, what's, like, the opposite of, like, Karl Marx? Like, I don't know, John Locke or something like that, you know? Like, just holding 2 different ideological things. Like, that would be kind of unfair, because then you're no longer judging off the content of the individual. You're judging off of their, like, pre-chosen, which could obviously be like a falsity, right? Like, I could easily be holding Joss Capital, she could be holding John Locke, but like, you don't want to prejudice them, right? But anyway, point is, okay, I get my punishment because it's over. I don't have to deal with her anymore. But like 2 hours plus of this woman is anyway. So I'm going up the stairs, and I think this is karma exists, man. Karma is such a funny thing because I'm walking up the stairs and I eat shit on the staircase. I eat shit. No one was looking, I think, but like I ate like my toe clipped the bottom part of the stair and I fell forward. I landed on my side. I didn't land on my knee because I'm like, I need my knees. And I landed on my side and I'm just like sitting on the staircase and I'm like, ow, that fucking hurt. Ow. So I get up, right? And I turn around and my foot slips. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I drop my suit jacket. And legitimately, I was like, this is a moment out of a comedy movie where you're punishing the evil antagonist, right? Like, this is like a comedy spoof movie. So I pick up my suit jacket off the floor and I hold my hands out and I'm looking up and I'm like, what'd I do? Like what'd I do? So I keep going up the stairs without incident, no problem. Right? You should have had the coffee. Exactly, right? And get out, we're fine. The lady, okay. Now, keep in mind, I didn't see her leave before or after me, but apparently she was up there. And the lady that was there, she's filling out one of the cards that is like the complaints and blah, blah, blah. Now, I did not read the card because I was like, I'm done with this lady. Like, I was no longer at the point where I was like, I want to collect information for the stream. I'm at the point where I'm like, I want to go. I'm tired of this. Like, I haven't done anything since like, I woke up at like 6, 7 a.m. And by the way, I think I got out at like noon. Or sorry, yeah, 11:46 is when I got out. Right, so right before lunch. And it's just like, ugh. So I'm walking back to the parking thing. Not really any issues. I keep getting harassed by people, but you know, it's fine. Get into the elevator, go up to the top, and there's like 12 of us in this elevator. It's kind of cramped. We're going up, so we, go to this floor, then the one above it, then the one above that, and it's just like every floor there's someone getting off, and it's just like, so it takes like at least a solid 5 minutes to get to the top, right? So I'm on a higher floor, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to take the stairs, so I'll just, I'll let the door close, and I hit the level above. So I'm in the elevator, right, and hit the button, the door's closed, and I'm like, okay. And then nothing. And I'm sitting in this elevator, and nothing's happening. I, obviously, thinking everything's fine, I hit the floor that I want. So I hit the floor, and nothing happens. And at this moment, I start to become quite scared. And the thing I'm thinking is like, okay, how long can I survive in here? I have enough water for probably 6 to 8 hours. It's hot. I'm literally contained in a steel box, and there's very little ventilation. So I was like, this is not good. So what I do is I calmly, I hit the button again. I put my messenger bag down, and I put my suit jacket on top of it, and I start to unbutton my dress shirt. Because I'm like, if I'm going to be in here for a while, I am going to do my best to make sure I am not literally cooking to death in this elevator, right? Because it had no AC. It didn't have any AC. Welcome to the wondrous situation I was in. I get to like I get the top button, I get the second top button, I get the third button. Was the alarm button not working? No. I didn't hit the alarm button because I was waiting. You have to understand, with elevators, you can't jump the gun, right? So, I'm getting there, and I hear, and I'm like, oh, this is how I die. This is how I die. Okay. So I'm like, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, damn, I should have taken the stairs. And then, like mechanical, not like breaking or anything, just like mechanical noises. And the door opens. And I'm like, So I pick up my stuff. I put my satchel over my hand, my shoulder. I put my suit jacket on top of it, and I walk out. And then there's this lady that's outside, and she like sees me, and like she goes like, because like she clearly sees I'm like absolutely just perturbed. I'm just like terrified. And I walk out. I'm like, yeah, not gonna lie, I was in there, and I hit the button. It didn't open for a minute or two, and I'm gonna take the stairs. And she was like, okay, I was wondering why it took so long. So I was like, so we both take the stairs. And by the way, she was on like the top floor. So she took the stairs all the way down simply because when I came out, I looked so scared or so just distraught that she was like, okay. And I'm like, having elevators break on me is one of my biggest fears. I'm just afraid of like everything, you know, because death is terrifying, right? Damn, I should have had that coffee. You know what's funny is that in that moment, I wasn't thinking about like anything else except the fact that like I'm going to survive this. Like, you know what? You can, circumstances be damned. The will and fire of the human spirit lives on in me. I'm like, I can't die yet. I can't die yet. I don't have my own model. I need, like, I can't die yet. I can't. I need to write in my will, in the event of me dying in an elevator, all the money that has been earned on stream shall go to, I don't know, something else. But I get out of the elevator, and I'm just like, everything is fine. I get to my car, I turn it on, I throw my stuff in there, I turn on the AC, you know, start cooling my car down. And I take pictures of like the outside area because I'm pretty high up. So I'm like, oh, you know, I'll probably never see this perspective again. So I took pictures, right? And, oh boy. That was my experience with jury duty today. So as you can tell, that was a very weird day. Because typically, like, Raz summoned the indomitable humans will. Exactly. Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to die. I was like, I know. Even if I was stuck in there, like legitimately stuck, like I knew that I would not die. I knew that I would be fine. Simply because of the fact that like it just stopped. Like it didn't move. The only thing that like mechanically moved, I think, was the door. The actual elevator itself never like went up or down or anything like that. Which, oh, thank God. And by the way, I think I know why it happened. I think when I hit the floor that I wanted, when I was at the previous level, I think the lady hit the button at the same time. And I think that kind of like confused the elevator logic, and it was like, it just like died. And then it was like, okay, I need to go back. And it like reset itself, and then it opened up and it was fine. It was just like, who's gonna feed Byron, lift the elevator with two beamers and a twister? Hey. The important part about being in a situation like that is being patient. And if you can't be patient, then damn it, you need to be smart. Okay, and that's all you gotta do. But I get to my car and I'm still like, I'm not angry. I'm just like, God, like it wasn't even frustration that I was like at the turn paging or the highlighting. It's the fact that I know for a fact she didn't learn anything, because Das Kapital is not an easy book to read. It's a very difficult book to get through. It's very like, it's a philosophical treatise, but it's also an economical treatise in a sense. And it's just like, like you can't just sit there and read it with a highlighter. You're gonna get like some stuff from it, but like you're not gonna learn anything about it. Like my rule whenever I'm reading is that I have a pen and paper next to me, because frankly, if you're not reading something with a pen and paper and taking notes, you're not really gonna learn it. Now, don't get me wrong, you can glean information, you can learn stuff, but like it's not gonna be as effective, and you're not gonna remember it unless you write it down. Like 99% of the time. The reason I remember most of the stuff that happened to me today is because I wrote it down on my phone. Or wrote it down on, you know, a piece of paper, right? And then translated it over to my phone when I could. If you can't be smart, you gotta be tough. Exactly. But, yeah, it's just like, man, like, but I'm here. You know, the day went by. I do kind of have a little bit of a headache, but I don't know. I think it's maybe because I don't know. I'm not hungry. I already ate. I did treat myself though. Let me have a little sippy poo of my Wawa. Wawa. Water. Because I was like, well, it's lunch. I got stuff to do, but I could treat myself. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get McDonald's. So, you know, I leave downtown, not really too much of an issue. Basically nothing really happens. It's really like nice in general. Just had to kind of go around places, kind of navigate through, and then got out, and here we are. But, you know, I got a double cheeseburger and small fry and a sweet tea. That was my lunch. And also technically my dinner. Unless I want to get like seconds or something, but I don't know. I still have leftovers though. The book isn't hard to read. It's because it's philosophical or economical. It's hard to read because it's comic propaganda. Hey, no discrimination. Don't pass judgment. It's just a book. But I was I was sitting here before stream, and I was like, legitimately, like, I don't know if any other people have this, right? And it's not like a streamer thing. It's just like life thing where like I've been basically taking notes all day for this stream to tell this story. And I was sitting here before stream, and I was actually starting to get frustrated and like scared because I was like, how do I tell the story? Like, what do I do? Like, I legitimately thought like my life was falling apart because of the simple fact that like I could not figure out how the hell this works. Like, what's going on? Like how do I tell, like, what, how do I, like, do I do it chronologically? Do I tell a really good, like, what's going on? Like, and it's like, I'm not going to come up with details. I'm just like, but how do I take the stuff that's good and make it better? So I'm having this like crisis, and I'm like, just talk. And I was like, darn it, Raz, you're so smart. Bez Churger. Yes. Also, thank you, Cyanide, for the 40 biddies for the on-screen celebration. I missed it. I saw it. Wait. But I'm not going to lie. Part of me is really happy that I dodged jury duty, or rather got, well, I didn't dodge, but like got released from jury duty. But at the same time, like, I kind of wished I got put on a jury simply because I would like to have that experience. You know, like, not for any particular reason, just like having the opportunity to be a part of literally like one of the cornerstone blocks of our civilization, right? Hydrate? Okay, I'll hydrate again. Yeah, I actually, I think I was the only one in there with a water bottle. So everyone else was kind of raw dogging it. And I'm just like sitting here sipping on my yummy Wawa in my temperature controlled thermos. Yummy. Yummy. In fact, I think I refilled it right before stream too. Your day will come. But yeah, it kind of, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I will say one thing that did kind of strike me was how different like the IRL world is versus like streaming and stuff, because it's like, you know, I go outside and stuff on occasion, you know, I like to think, but you know, I was sitting there, and one of the things that struck me was how would I explain, because there was like a very nice like older gentleman to my left, and I was like, how do I explain to him the concept of streaming and also the concept of VTubing? And I was like, how do I describe that? Like, what would be the way to broach the subject and say like that? Because like, if you think about it from like a regular normal person's perspective, like the concept of streaming either as a profession or as like a hobby is very odd, right? Because like most hobbies aren't like entertainment, right? Most hobbies are like self-serving, like, you know, woodworking, unless like you're selling stuff, or like video games or something. But like streaming is different, right? Yeah, online entertainment. And I was sitting there, I was thinking like, you know, if you told me 2 or 3 years ago that I was a VTuber, I probably would not believe you, because I was one of those quote unquote, I guess you could say normies, I suppose, where I just didn't understand like the value of streaming and all that stuff. And it isn't something that like people will immediately get. Like, I don't think especially VTubing, it's not something people are going to immediately get. You have to understand the culture behind it. You have to understand why people do it and all the other nuances in order to really get like why VTubers are such a thing, and why no matter what, even after the explosion already ended, there's still people like me who come onto the scene, right? It's because it's fun. Adult entertainment. I am not. Well, I'm an adult, but I'm not an entertainer. Well, I'm an entertainer and an adult, but not in that manner. and I at minimum, I'm interesting. Entertaining, who knows? But, you know, I that was a very profound moment for me because I was like, in such a short time, well, maybe 2-3 years isn't short for you guys, but it is for me. 2 to 3 years is enough to really transform someone's opinion or like their worldview. Because I like legitimately, I never thought I would ever be a streamer just on basis of like anonymity and so on. And then it falls into my lap where I can be anonymous and also still be myself, which is amazing. And then I'm like, but how would I explain this to Bubba? You know, Big Bubba to my left. Because he was wearing, okay. The reason I call him Bubba is because he has overalls and he's got a big belly. Big belly. Big belly. Like rub the belly for good luck belly, okay? Like Buddha belly, right? And, you know, how do I broach VTubing to Bubba? You know? Shut up and keep telling stories, Magic Man. I mean, I can, but like my weakness, I think I told Stebbia this. I was like, my weakness is I don't know how to tell good stories. I can tell stories, but like I feel like the art of storytelling is lost on me, and I don't know how to catch that magic. Like there is a certain, how do I say this? There is a certain skill, there is a certain talent and all these other things that go into it that make people really good storytellers. And if I could ever, like, if I could snap my fingers right now and be good at one thing, that would be it. Or if I couldn't choose like that, I would be like, speak Japanese. So I can just like wait, like just show up to like one of the streams and just like start just talking Japanese completely and totally like fluently and being like, you know, hey Raz, we don't know what you're talking about. Nani desu ka? Huh? Hontoni gomenasai. But that I'm not today has been so weird because I am leaving some stuff out simply because it's doxing, but you know, the details that I'm leaving out are just kind of like, huh? But oh, I did forget one thing. When I was driving either to or from, I think it was to, when I was driving to the courthouse, the unimaginable amount of people that looked the same terrified me. And by the way, I'm not saying like how I kind of like stereotype the gal, right? But I'm just saying, like, does anyone else have this thing where like they go out in public and they see people that like look the same and they like categorically look similar, right? And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just like I'm losing it now. But like as I was driving down, I just saw all types of people, but like there were so many people that looked the same. And I was like, am I losing it? But then I realized like, well, I'm also one of those people. I probably, people look at me and they think, oh, like you're one of these people, right? So I think it's okay. I don't know. Am I profiling? I don't know. But really, like, I saw like, I mean, I typically see a lot of people, but like to the extent that I did today, no. Like today I saw so many people that like I never would have seen. Like, oh, no bicyclists. So I got lucky there. Because there are bike lanes and stuff here, and like, oh my god, it is. If you're a driver, you hate cyclists. If you're a cyclist, you hate cars. And not gonna lie to you, I'm very grateful that I did not see any bikes, because holy moly, 20 points. Just saying. Just saying. But I am just like, oh, I'm grateful that I don't have a stream tomorrow, so I can just relax, but I want to start doing more stuff for stream. You know, one of the things that I had a revelation on was like, you know, I had my existential stuff about life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness and all that good stuff. But I was also thinking about streaming. I was like, you know, on the 21st is going to be the day before, I think the 8th or 9th month of streaming. And I'm like, you know, am I compared to debut Raz where I want to be? And if not, what am I hamstringing myself, or am I not pushing myself, or what is the deficiency, right? To get where I want to go, right? Because my goals are very simple. They're not really crazy. I just want to be entertaining, be interesting, you know. Although I will say one thing. This can I bleed my heart, guys? Can I please bleed my heart, please? biddies. Oh, thanks. So basically, the one thing I've always thought about. Ah!
You woo daddy senpai.
Woo! Is like, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Hold on. Thank you for the 100 biddies. Oh, by the way, how many bits are we at on the channel? This is hilarious. Let me see here. I gotta see here. We are at 23, almost 24,000. We are 100 away from 24,000 bits. That is absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. On your own channel, absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, like, the only thing that, like, I guess, like, and it's a weird thing, right? Because I think for me, the only thing that I want that is material outside of obviously like my own model, right? So I'm being greedy here, is like just like a certain follower count, so I don't have to care about it at all, right? And what's funny is that like I don't care about it, but for some reason like it's been nagging at me. It's been like this weird worm in my ear for the past like month, I'd say, where like for some reason I'm like, oh, I want to do more things to increase my follower count. I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like, it's this weird battle where, like, because ultimately the number beneath your channel that says the follower count doesn't matter unless you want to hit affiliate, right? If you want to hit affiliate, you need the 50, right? But after that, like, you know, follower in terms of, like, the actual thing itself isn't too important. And to me, it's not. I care more so about, like, you guys hanging out and having fun. You know, I don't, like, because here's the thing, right? My biggest fear as a, like, this is legitimately my biggest fear as a streamer, or one of them, rather, is having a lot of followers but not a lot of chatters or lurkers, right? Like, I'm not saying that like everyone needs to be chatting, or God, no, do what you want. But what I'm saying is that like I would hate to be a channel that has like 25,000 followers and then there's only like 2 people talking in chat, right? Now that by itself isn't a problem, but the reason why I say that's a bad thing is because one of the beautiful things that I've noticed, at least on my channel, is despite the fact that we're at 151 followers, which by itself, like, I don't want to discount that. That's a momentous achievement. It really is. The turnover, or sorry, not the turnover, the rate of people that are hanging out and chatting is super high. Like, the retention rate is insane. So, like, for example, like, even today, right? Like, how many people are hanging out? Like, it's actually insane to me. And I don't know why, but I need to figure out why, because I need to keep doing it and to keep doing it right. But I've just had this worm in my head where it's like, oh, you need more followers. And I'm like, why? It doesn't matter. Like, I don't mean it doesn't matter in the sense that it's completely useless. I mean it in the sense that, like, for my goals and what I want, that isn't something necessary. My goal is to be interesting and entertaining and have as many people hang out and have fun as possible. That's it. That's literally it. Right? So the number of followers and shit just doesn't matter, right? But it's like, I haven't been able to figure out the source of it. I haven't been able to figure out why is this nagging into my head. And the only thing I've come up with so far in terms of explaining what this is and why I have it is like my competitive nature, like wanting to be better. And I don't mean better than other people. I mean better as in like, you know, I get a 95 on an exam. What could I do to get a 97? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like just continually and constantly improving for the sake of improving, not for anything else. Because that's my philosophy. My philosophy is that, you know, you could go to these VTuber academies or whatever and learn all these skills and stuff. But, you know, one, I can't do that because okane ga nai. But, okay, now I'm fumbling around with my hands. Sorry. But, the thing is that, like, I don't want to turn this into a profession, right? Like, there's the saying that, like, you don't make your hobby your job, otherwise you're gonna hate your job and your hobby. And that's what I don't want to do. So I'm good there, right? So the only reason why I would care about the follower account is if I wanted to actually, like, not pro, but like go full time, I guess you could say. But it's like, it's such a weird, like, do you see like my dilemma here where it's like, why am I like having this desire when it's pointless? There's no reason for it. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's completely inconsistent with my goals and my aspirations. So why is it still there? And it's like, well, human greed. And I'm like, well, okay, fair enough. But the reason I bring that up is because like one of the revelations that I really wanted to have, well, I did have, but like I want to bring into existence instead of it just being an idea is like, you know, I feel as though that every single person has their own innate talents and abilities, and they have the ability to work hard to shore up some of those deficiencies they have in whatever regard. And then obviously they have the opportunity to improve those natural talents they have, which obviously you should. And that's what I'm working on doing and continuing to do. But I'm also like curious as to like, you know, have I maxed out in any way, you know? Like, have I hit my max stat for anything yet? And it's like, what happens when I do? You know? Anyway, sorry, like this just, I know this is quite a weird conversation, but it's at the same time, it's just, it's very eye-opening, at least to me, because it's like, this is new, right? It's new. It's exciting. I think really the reason why I had like that massive revelation is because I was thinking about like how different I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, you know, and you know, it's almost been a year of streaming. We're not there yet, but we're pretty close. And I'm thinking, you know, my life has been a net positive in basically every facet because I started streaming. So I'm like, damn, I need to make sure I don't lose this. You know, don't mess this up. Don't screw this up. Don't do anything silly. But that, I mean, I'm gonna kind of be doing a bunch of that on my birthday. I'm just gonna be like hanging out, talking. Oh, I didn't buy soju. That was one of the things I needed to get from the store, but I didn't. Okay, well, that's fine. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. But despite that being the case, it is what it is. It is what it is. Music. I'm not gonna lie to you. Having the opportunity to do jury duty has been a net positive, obviously because of the fact that like I get to do cool stuff and see cool things and tell you guys cool stories. But I'm looking forward not to getting any more summons. I am looking forward to not having any issues whatsoever with having to reschedule my entire week simply for the fact that they're like, you know, you got to come down on a Wednesday, and it's like, all right, I got you, homie. But man, my week has been so screwed up because of this. Like, I have had to switch around so much stuff just to get this to work out fine. Because the last thing I want to do is, like, I feel like I'm pretty good at not getting things, or, like, even when things kind of go tipsy-turvy on things, I'm pretty good at not having it affect stream. Like, I've never missed stream. I don't think I've even ever been late to stream. If anything, I've been early to stream sometimes. So, like, the reason why is because I make sure to move mountains to make sure that this time is Raz time. It's our time to hang out and have fun. So I'm grateful that I've been able to do that. But this week was particularly difficult because of jury duty and among other things. So it was like, oh, I'm glad that I was able to pull it off. So it's like, but I'm looking forward to kind of going back to the daily normal, the daily day-to-day, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, and then having stream and just hanging out and having fun. And I'm not gonna lie to you, you know, I'm very happy. Like this will be the last revelation I talk about, is like one of the things I thought about was I happier, more fulfilled, so on and so forth before streaming or after? And I'm not gonna lie, I am actually kind of terrified of how much of a positive influence streaming has been on me, in myself as an individual, in myself as a quasi entertainer, I guess you could say. I have done things that I never thought I would do. We've done collabs, we've done all sorts of things, right? We can list it out, but I'll save the breath. And realizing that, like, we're not done yet is a fantastic feeling. And I'm the reason why that's a terrifying thought is because it's like, you know, what if, right? What if I lose my spark? It's like, I don't think I ever will, frankly, because like literally even today, like I'm exhausted. I've slept like maybe like 4-ish hours. I normally sleep 5, but now I got 4 today, I think. And it's just like, whoo, you know, like you always think about like the unexpected being the expected or being a possibility, and you're like, oh. But even today, like I'm dead. Like my body hurts, my head still kind of hurts, and then it's not dehydration either. It's weird, and all these things. But I'm still here, and I'm absolutely like ecstatic. I know the moment that like I end stream, I'm gonna like just like probably fall asleep in my chair, but otherwise I'm gonna be like perfectly fine. I do hope that I do want to sleep more though. I feel like 5 hours of sleep a week is like on the weekdays is fine, but like I think in the long term it may be a problem. So I'm gonna try to like because normally what happens is like I lay in bed and I can't sleep, and I have this mentality where like instead of like being like upset that I can't sleep, I consider just laying down in bed, just like relaxing as like kind of sleep. So instead of me going like, oh my god, I can't sleep, this sucks, blah blah blah, I'm like, I can just sit here and mess around on my phone or my MacBook or whatever for however long I want, and then go to sleep. And then I find out that I only really go to sleep like, you know, 5 hours before I have to get up. So I'm gonna see if I can do like other things. I don't want to mess around with like melatonin or anything like that, because I don't want to like actually like change my brain chemistry or anything like that, or like get myself like used to melatonin, because that would be bad by itself. But I'm gonna try to get more sleep, try to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, like quote unquote like sleep healthy, to make sure I'm not like dying inside. But I think that that's a pretty simple goal to work on, because all it'll require me to do is just, you know, hopefully just try to get more relaxed before streaming. You know, it's not really too bad. I was nervous about it, but it's pretty helpful at mellowing you out. Yeah, I mean, like, I would never get to the point where I'm popping, like, multiple pills of melatonin. But at the same time, like, I would rather train myself and get to a point where it's natural so that I don't have to worry with it. My insomnia was super bad. Yeah, I don't have insomnia. I just, like, I'm just not tired. Like, you know how, like, you have to be a certain tired to fall asleep? And even on the days where, like, I work myself to the bone and I'm exhausted, right? Like, I'm tired, but at the same time, like, I'm not tired enough to fall asleep. And then it's like, after, like, 20, 30 minutes or however long, then I fall asleep. To be honest with you, so I'm trying. You're describing insomnia? Well, if that's the case, then, I mean, I haven't seen any negative effects of it, though. Like, that's the weird thing. Also, hi, Synovia. We're talking about, sleep. Because I was just talking about like how I only sleep like 5 hours a night on the weekday, and then I sleep like a bunch on the weekend. But yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that I can't get rid of any of the stressors. Negative effect would be your lack of normalcy. True. That is a good point. I mean, like, if I was only getting 5 hours of sleep every night, I wouldn't really care, because I'm like, okay, but it's like I'm getting 5 hours of sleep on the weekdays, and then in the weekend, I sleep a lot, and it's like, Sorry, I'm debating Steb in his channel. Stebio is getting absolutely trialed. It's that sleep debt, brother. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, it's weird though, because it's like, I mean, if it's insomnia, it's insomnia. But like, frankly, what happens is that, like, you know, I'm typically in bed like at like 11 midnight, like without issue. And, you know, I just kind of lay there and relax. And honestly, like, I watch ASMR, I watch videos, I kind of just veg out, you know, relax, right? But, you know, I don't actually like get tired enough for sleep until like way after. You know, it's weird. I would rather try to sleep more during the week and stay awake longer on the weekends. I feel the same way. Like, it's like, it would be better to do that, but like, I think if there's a psychological thing behind it, I think it's also like, because I don't have anything to do on the weekends, I feel safe or comfortable to sleep more. Or at least that's my explanation of it. I don't know if I'm right. I'm probably wrong, but like, if it were the case, right, that it was because it was during the week that I was sleeping less, fair enough, right? Usually people need like an hour or two to wind down and actually sleep. Yeah, I normally like I'm there for like 4 hours, right? Pre-screens, people just read in bed. Yeah, maybe I can pull out my copy of Das Kapital and my highlighter and just like that poor girl did in Jury Duty. Weekend is a free-for-all. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I know for a fact that it's stress, right? Like, I know stress is a part of it. I know that stress is, like, one of the main carriers of it. But, you know, at the same time, it's like, can't really do much about it. It's like, I mean, I can handle my stress better, but, you know, I don't really know how to do that, I guess. But it's like, it's not really the fact that the stress is bad. Like, it's not even that bad. Like, it's just, it's stress, right? But it's like, it's there, right? If it wasn't there, then I think I'd be fine. But same, I'm also a night person because the city is quiet. Love sitting outside at midnight and just enjoying the silence. Yeah, I'm a night owl too. I prefer being awake at night. I like, if I had to choose like the perfect time to be awake, I would wake up at like 10 a.m. and go to sleep at like 2, 3-ish. Like that's the like primo night owl hours, because you get time during the day and you get time during the night, you know. Yeah, like 10 a.m. to like 2, or sorry, yeah, 10 a.m. to like 2 a.m. So you're awake at 10 a.m. You go your entire day. You have the afternoon, the evening, and then obviously the late evening, and then early morning. And then if you want to stay up more, that's fine, because like you can go to sleep at like 3 a.m. and wake up at 10 and you get 8 hours, right? Assuming you need 8 hours. Like, I used to function on 7 hours, and then one day I just stopped sleeping 7 hours and started sleeping 5, you know? Do you have at least page flags, or are you lame? No, I have page flags. I have flags, I have sticky notes, I have everything. I, like on the Japanese stuff that I'm doing, like, I have, like, where is my notepad? Or not my notepad, my sticky notepad. Where'd it go? I may have put it, okay, I may have moved it, but like I have like flags, I have sticky notes, I have all that stuff. I'm taking it seriously. I printed out the hiragana sheet. It's on my wall. I looked at it, you know. I'm trying to come up with exercises to remember stuff, because I really do want to learn Japanese. Like, I feel like for me, it's going to be one of those things where it's like, I'm never really going to use it until I go to Japan. But like, I just want to learn the language for the sake of it, you know, regardless of what it can bring. Oh. I can only recommend substances. Cray. My man. I redact that. I redact my statement. I can remember the last time I could sleep till 10, even staying up late. Yeah, I mean, like, whenever I sleep on the weekends, my schedule is always messed up. It's always, like, on Fridays, like, I stay up as long as I basically can and then go to sleep. And then I wake up, like, 2 p.m., you know, something like that. But, you know, it's weird. But I never thought about it before. It's like, you know, instead of sleeping a lot on the week, I think the reason I sleep a lot on the weekend is because it's like, I would get the best sleep on the weekend, because I don't have to like wake up early or anything. Whereas like otherwise it's like, And then like also like if you sleep, like, I don't know if anyone else has this, but like whenever you sleep too much on the week, don't you ever feel like you're wasting time by sleeping? Like, do you ever get that? Maybe I do have insomnia. I barely understand Twitch, so I don't know how to clip things. Great, yeah. Although if you kind of hover over, if you look down here, no, over here, down here, and you hover over the screen, you should see like a cog and like a clip thing. You have to click that, and then you can choose where you want it to go. And it will, when you click the clip button, it'll choose the last minute. So you have to be pretty quick on the draw. Then you have to title it and then publish it in order for your clip to be saved. And then if you successfully do it, it'll show up in the Discord. So easy peasy. You could also just have a different circadian rhythm. Yeah, I mean, like, I've done a lot of work trying to figure out my circadian rhythm. Like, part of me, like, I want to be a morning, I want to be a person that wakes up at like 5 a.m. like healthily every day and like stay up all day and then go to sleep at like 9. But like, I think that that's not me. Because whenever I don't have stressors, whenever I don't have anything, I naturally want to stay up until like 4 a.m. And I want to wake up at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., right? But, you know, I mean, this is just more so a commentary on life. Like, the world doesn't really care about what your preferences are, so you have to kind of match that as opposed to everything else. Everyone was just like, all right, we're gonna work 9 to 5, and if you actually work 9 to 5, tell me where you work. Everything's 8 to 5. But the thing that's interesting is that, like, at least for me personally, is that I think like the apex, the top of the cream of the crop, the zenith of the like climbing the ladder to the top of the mountain is like being able to do something within your own hours. I mean, obviously you still have to work, right? But like, you know, doing it within your own time frame is like key. I was so happy working 9 to 6 for 5 years. I would rather okay, I'm the type of guy that I would rather wake up early and get out late early than like wake up later and get out later. That's just me. Like, I've worked weird shifts before. Like, I've had part-time gigs where like I've worked from like 1 to 5 and like 8 to 12 and stuff like that, and you know, normal, you know, full-time stuff. But like, my dream schedule would be like 7 to 4, I think. Like, I would not mind waking up at 6 a.m. if I knew that I got out at 4 every day. Now, honestly, unfortunately, this is labor laws, but like, I would rather just work one stint of 8 hours flat. Like, legitimately, I would just rather work flat 8 hours, no break. Cause like, I'm the type of dude that, like, you know, I like whenever I eat my lunch, like, I'm working while I do it. You know, typically, well, I mean, only when it's like really like things need to get done, like, we're behind. But like, whenever I don't have to, like, yeah, I take that hour. Like, I just sit there, I watch YouTube, I watch streams, I watch stuff like that. You know, I just kind of sit there and kind of rot max, I guess. But like, I would rather be like, hey, boss, can I like have my lunch break like at 4 to 5 instead of 12 to 1 or whenever I decide to take it. But I was so happy working for 5 years. That's your schedule, 7 to 4. Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. It's not exciting to wake up at 5 a.m. because in order to get 8 hours, you would need to go to sleep at, what, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hey, what is... I need sleep. Hey, at least tomorrow's Thursday. You would need to wake up... Well, assuming your commute is only like 30 minutes, but it's like, it's freaking 5 a.m., which, by the way, is another reason why I want it. I hate traffic. Now, I don't get stressed out by traffic, or well, I do get stressed out by traffic, but I don't care for it. Like, I don't get angry at people cutting me off or anything like that. I'm just like, whatever. I'm the type of guy that, like, I am in my lane literally miles before I need to go, so I never need to merge. So no matter what the traffic is, oh, you cut me off, whatever. Like, that really is going to change anything. But I would love to not have to deal with traffic ever, right? Like, if I leave, like, even a minute later than like clock out time, I am screwed by traffic. Like, my 5 to 10 minute turns into like 30 plus. It really is that awful. But if I were on 7 to 4, oh boy, because then I could wake up. I would probably be awake before the sun every day, so I would be able to see the sun come up, you know, and all that good stuff. And also, I would be halfway done with the day before noon, which is like a mega motivator. If you've like, and Cray, you can back me up on this. Like, isn't it nice when you've worked a regular 9 to 5 that whenever you're on, you're halfway through, like if your halfway time is like 11 to noon, you're like, or like before noon, you're like, I'm like, you ever get in that mind? You're like, I'm halfway done. More than most people in the world. I'm an hour ahead of people. Like, do you ever get that? Like, sometimes I'll have those days where like I'll either come in early or stay late or whatever, and I'm like, you know, if I come in early, I'm like, ooh, my day is halfway done before everyone else. And then whenever I have to work late, I'm like, ooh, I'm working later than everyone else. This is exciting. You know, it sucks, but like, he's like, ooh, this is exciting, you know? But traffic is straight up the worst. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm the type of guy that, don't get me wrong, I hate traffic too. I think traffic is genuinely awful. Genuinely awful. And, you know, I've tried finding back roads and other things like that, but you can only do so much. But what I've noticed is, and what I think is wonderful about traffic, is for me, I'm stressed out about the actual activity, which is dealing with traffic. You know, I don't want to get a dent. I don't want to get this, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get hit. I got to avoid Mercedes or a Toyota or something. I don't know. But, you know, otherwise, it's a fairly zen type of situation for me. I also benefit from no traffic. Exactly, yeah. So, like me, I put music on and I just like, I don't need GPS. Like it's like workers, like I know the path. I can smell it. Like, okay, I need to get off on exit 77, you know, whatever, you know, I don't drive, but it's 3 miles. Oh, okay, not gonna lie. This is a perfect situation. Like 7 to 4, right? I'm within like walking distance of my gig. And cause then you get to save on miles too. Cause that's one of the, that is one of the unintended L's of being an adult, is if you drive to work and stuff, the nature of just getting to your job, okay, and a lot of the times they aren't even the best jobs in the world, but let's say it's the best job in the world, you're like a millionaire, you still have to rack up miles on your car just to get the privilege of working, right? So like I mean, cars are depreciating assets as general, but like every time you drive there, like it's just like, it's like on my car, right? Like I have gained more miles just getting to and from work than I have done doing anything else. Legitimately. Everything else I've ever done, I've never had, like, even when I've gone out of state, like, literally, that doesn't mean, like, anything compared to the miles that I know. It's, okay, I'll have some water. Also, welcome in, Ray. How are you doing? Wawa. When I lived about 2 miles away, I walked it, but that last mile is a hill. Well, I mean, like, okay. I will say, when I was driving downtown, I did see a lot of doctors and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't understand why, like, why, one, people would live downtown. I don't get it. I mean, I'm cottagecore as hell, so that's probably one of the reasons why I don't get it. But, like, I saw this, like, surgeon-type doctor thing on, like, this weird, like, bike. I don't know if it was, like, an electrical hybrid-type bike. I don't know, it just looked weird. And, like, he was biking to work. And the reason I knew that was because I had to go down like the main street thingy, whatever, and he was on my side, and he was like, there was a bunch of red lights, so he was kind of going along doing his thing, and as I'm going, like, he's gone like maybe 12-15 blocks or something like that, like just an insane distance, right? And and it's just like, I kind of want that, but at the same time, like, just being a bicyclist, like, I don't know, like, it's kind of like my methodology with like motorcycles. Like, I love motorcycles. I think they're cool. Like, I personally prefer like non-Harley Davidsons, like, you know, like the crotch rockets you see and like all that stuff. But like, I would never own one or drive one by nature of just how dangerous they are, you know? It's like why I'll never drive in a Mini Cooper, right? Like, those things are death traps, right? Gotta go Honda with motorcycles. I agree. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't really know anything about motorcycles, but like, I know like the ones that I like to look at, and the ones that I like to look at are the Kawasaki and Hondas. Just ride your bike around the neighborhood. Yeah, that's also another thing too. Yeah, like, you know, easy cardio is like, you know, you get some leg workout, you get some cardio going in. Someone say crotch rocket. Yeah, I mean, I will say, I really, because, okay, this is what would happen. When I was a kid, there was this main street, right, where there would be a guy, and it was every year, that would buy a really fast motorcycle. And what would happen is every year, one of them would go freaking Evel Knievel mock Jesus down the main street. And they would hit something, and then you would see in the news, X individual passed away from his injuries from hitting, like, you know, a random thing on this main street. And every year, there was a newspaper that came out that said, X person died here from a motorcycle. And that left an impression onto me because, like, every time I read it, it was like, this person, they just bought their first bike. They took it out for a spin. They went down the road. And then they hit something. And then they went flying into a freaking wall and they're dead. And it's like, oh God. and it's like, And whenever you're on those bikes, like you can get to like 90, 120 plus miles an hour in like a freaking moment. You know, those things are insane. That's why they're called crotch rockets. Your crotch is on a rocket, you know? Look into mini motos from Honda. That's what I have. I meant bike like motorcycle. Mini motos. Ooh, let me see. Because I mean, ooh. Oh, like pocket bikes. Now I've heard of those. Is that what you mean? That's so cool. Bike like motorcycle. Mini motos from Honda. Hold on. Honda motorcycles. Ooh. Yeah, Honda's they I don't know why, but like Honda just has such a good, like the way they detail their bikes is really nice. Like, don't get me wrong, like I'm gonna say something blasphemous here, but like I don't personally enjoy how like Harley Davidsons look. Like I don't get the culture, the physique. They look great, don't get me wrong, but I just really like how Honda does their styling. Is this like the weeaboo coming out? Like I'm just like Honda Japanese. Oh, they're cute little motorcycles. I have a Grom. Oh, even if you have even if you live from a motorcycle crash, skin grafts can reject when you're older. Yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, like, obviously, you want to avoid injury at any stage of your life for every reason. But, okay, that's actually kind of insane. You can get a motorcycle for 13 grand. That's actually really insane. Wow. Hold on. You can get one for 8 grand? 5 grand? Whoa. 5? Holy moly. Oh my god. And then you said you have a Grom. 3 almost 4 grand, not bad. 13 grand is kind of, well, I'm saying like the reason why I'm expressing that way is like in comparison to like a car, right? Like if you want a brand new like sedan, you're gonna have to pay at least 20. Like even if it's like pre-owned, pre-used, like, and it's in good, like you're gonna have to pay out the butt for it. But like, that looks cool. Yeah, Honda just knows how to make a motorcycle. They just look good. But like I said, like I mean, I don't think I would be a bad driver. It's more so the case, like, you know, like your parents would always be like, I'm not worried about what you're gonna do. I'm worried about the strangers. We don't know what they're gonna do. Like, you ever get that pep talk, right? Like, you know, I trust you, but I don't trust those strangers. And it's like, I unironically think that way as well for like motorcycles, because it's like I could because even if you don't do anything wrong, if someone like steps out in like an intersection where there's a median and they're like making a U-turn or a left turn, ow. Ow, that was gross. I'm sorry. Even when you're making that U-turn or left turn, like if you hit the car, you're dead. Like you know, like if you hit even if you hit it at like 10 miles an hour, like it's actually kind of terrifying that like you don't even need to like go that fast to die. Like you can go 10 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. If you hit the darn car, all the force is going to be transferred into you. There's nothing to absorb it. You are the absorption, you know? Like, and it's just like, But, and you know, obviously everyone's going to have their fears, and that's mine. But, you know, with commission fees and all the other things and all that good stuff, like, you know, you could probably walk out with a brand new bike, especially the Minimoto Grom. Oh, there's trims too. Assuming MSRP is legitimate, right? Like you can walk out with one for like $5,000, and if you put a down payment on that, you got like what? Your car bill is like $100 maybe. That's pretty achievable. That's pretty good. I would love to say what my car is, but obviously doxing reasons. But you know, yeah, that was a pain to finance. I'll just say that. But like, does anyone else wish they could just buy from the freaking like the company? Like, hey Honda, I want your bike. I'll wire you X amount. No, you gotta go to one of our retailers. You gotta go down. You gotta go into the dealership. You gotta deal with this one person who's clearly trying to screw you over, who wants to highball you on a lowball thing, and it's just like, you know, and it's just like, You can drown in 2 inches of water. True. You guys don't tell Raz, but I don't know if he's still in the ocean. Well, you can see the clouds in the background. It's twilight. Although I gotta level with you guys. I want to change around the background. I feel like the vibe is nice, but like it's not exactly me. I liked it. I still do like it, but like it's like I need to change. I don't know. Maybe that's also my incessant need to improve and like get better and stuff and perfect things that are already perfect. Because I'm really happy with all the overlays. Like, not gonna lie, like these took a long time. Well, I didn't even do this. Actually, I don't know if Princess Cyanide is still in here, but she was the one that helped me out with basically getting these. So I love them. It's just like, you know how sometimes you have something that's perfect and then time goes by and you want to change things about it? That's literally it. Homie's floating with his toes. I'll have you know, my entire lower body is submerged. I'm floating very well, though. I'm very good at floating. Right. And then whenever I'm off stream, I'm just doing this. Just spinning around town. God, I wish I was the one. Least parasocial viewer. But man, I wish like if I own a motorcycle, it'll be like a dirt bike. Just as like a you know, in the backcountry type thing. Just like, you know, you take it out of the car, or the truck or whatever you have, and then, you know, you go for like, you know, dirt biking and stuff. But even that's like scary, right? But anyway, like I'm just being a negative Nancy, so I'm sorry. I love it, but it's like, I don't know. I'm a very risk averse person. I do not like to do or be a part of anything that has the possibility of causing me harm, because I'm just like, you know, like I don't want to deal with that. And it's just like the like so much stuff can happen that like I want to minimize the chance, right? Can't be parasocial if I treat you like a meal. No, that's exactly how it works, actually. Just rolling around. God. Yummy chapstick. Because my lips are chapped, even though I've been drinking water like a freaking faucet. I am looking for something. Let me see if I can find it. I love this song. Despite the fact that, like, I need to find more music just so that we have variety. There's so many, like... there are so many, like, checkpoints with streaming that I feel like I'm so glad to not have to deal with. Like, I remember when I was sitting here every day having to mess with my mic settings. Now, all I do is I just start stream. I don't even check it anymore. It's so nice. And, it, like, you know, I check it just like, okay, am I, like, coming through? Is it, you know, fine? And now it's like, oh... so good. Literally cannot ask for anything better than that. Legitimately cannot. So I'm just like sitting here and like thinking like all the checkpoints that you have for stream is just like insane. And I actually read the statistic the other day, but apparently only 10% of every Twitch streamer like actually becomes an affiliate. And I don't know if that's true, but it doesn't feel like it at the same time. Like part of me feels like maybe it's also the case that like I'm only seeing through rose-tinted glasses, but I feel like there was another statistic too where it's like if you have an average of like 10 viewers plus, like you're in the top 10%. And the thing is like, I don't think that that's necessarily wrong, but I see a lot of channels, deservedly so, having 10, 20 people watching plus. And it's like, is it like a rose-tinted glasses situation again where I'm just like only seeing the people that have it? I don't know. Apparently if you want good things to happen to you, it's a parasocial relationship. Wait, what? Wasn't parasocial defined by like one-sided? Like only one person is like giving it all, whereas the individual, the streamer, is like not reciprocating? Isn't that how parasocial works? I'm pretty sure, right? Or at least it seems to be that way. Not sure though, but I'm not gonna lie. I think that like this may, I don't know if this is controversial, but like I think that you can be somewhat parasocial with like streamers and content creators as long as you don't allow it to affect you. Like whenever you like watch like ASMR, whenever you watch like you ever have your comfort streamer, right? Like if you're inspired by them or if you're comforted by them, technically speaking, that's a parasocial relationship, right? Like you're getting something from them and you're giving something to them as well, like your comfort, your trust, so on and so forth. And they're not reciprocating. Or if you, apparently, if, sorry, or if you inspire me to improve my life in a positive manner. Well, the whole, okay, like, there is the like, the psychological thing about it, right? But, like, the whole reason why that became a thing is because people believe that there's more when there's not, right? If I get blocked, I just want you to live your best life. Yeah, everyone knows you have good intentions. I mean, even the people that are naturally, like, evil or bad, like, they have good intentions too, probably. Maybe not with their actions, but, like, they still have it. But what I'm trying to say here is that, like, being parasocial isn't necessarily always bad. It's just that 99.9% of people don't know how to keep a leash on it. They hear, oh, well, not all parasocial relationships are bad. And then they're just going to they dive off the deep end. And then they're like, you know, like having, like, you know, emotional relationships with this person that they don't even know. Right. You know, and like, that's bad. But I think that, you know, in terms of parasocial, I guess, like, the one thing that I'll always carry with me is, like, the reason why I wanted to go into teaching, I didn't, but was being able to be that person, not being responsible for you becoming better or anything like that, but being the person that turns you towards the thing to make yourself better, right? Like, and what I mean by that is, like, there's been a lot of artists that have come into the stream that are like, hey, I want to draw something. Like, give me something. I'm like, sure. So I give them something, right? And then they draw it. And then over time, like, they'll keep asking for stuff to, like, draw and stuff. And I'm like, obviously, I'm going to absolutely help you on that. And then you can see this wonderful progression of how their skills are improving. And that is what, like, that, if you've ever wondered what it's like to why teachers put up with so much, despite everything, they still do it, is because stuff like that never gets old. Like, nothing feels better than being able to know that you were one of, not the, but one of the people that pushed them in a direction to improve, right? Like, some of the artists that I've seen, like, some of them have been around for a long time, some of them have been around for a short time, some just pop in and out. But either way, like, whenever they do artwork inspired, or, you know, I'm just like, you know, I mean, it doesn't even have to be for the channel. I'm just like, what do you want to draw? You know? And they're like this. I'm like, hey, draw that, you know? And you see they get better. They're not, like, just the same person. They always improve. And it's because they aren't just drawing or doing it for itself. They're inspired to do it. Now, obviously, I'm not saying I'm the one inspiring. I'm simply saying they're in a state of inspiration. That is the good stuff. I really want to draw you, Raz. Go for it. My profile picture was drawn by Blood Snake. I haven't seen Snake in a while. I hope he's doing okay. But Snake went into MS Paint and drew me in MS Paint. And it's what I use on Discord. If you look at my profile picture on Discord in the server, that's drawn by Snake. Snake literally drew that in like 5 minutes, right? And it's an emote now. It's you know, my profile picture, and that's what I love. That's why teachers, and that's why, like, me as a streamer, that's why I love this stuff. It's so good. It's just, nothing feels better because it has a story behind it. The whole reason that exists is because on my 6-month anniversary stream, I was like, hey, if you want to draw, like, a profile picture of me, you know, whoever sends me in the best one, I'll use it. And people, you know, did some stuff like that, but Snake did that in MS Paint, sent it in, and I laughed so fucking hard that I couldn't stop myself from just being like, this is the winner. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, if you hover over the emote, I have Snake, what is it, tagged as the artist, right? So not only do we know there's a story behind it, but we know the person responsible for it. That's what it's about. That's what I love, right? But yeah, draw me however you want, DJ. Draw me well, draw me poorly, and you don't even have to draw me. If I can just be like that thing that makes you inspired to do something, hell yeah. And it doesn't have to be art. It can be music, it can be writing, it can be anything. Draw you like a French girl. Am I that cute? Sorry, that was my cringe comment for the day. These parasocial lines look a lot like making a friend. You want to hear about their life and read their articles about them. Besides the article things, what am I supposed to do? Well, here's the thing, right? The problem with parasocial relationships is that they aren't naturally occurring, right? These are not like natural friendships or acquaintanceships or business relationships. They're completely unique, right? You never see this type of stuff happening unless you're in a very specific culture, right? Twitch culture, streamer culture. You see it a lot with like J-pop idols and K-pop idols and stuff, like this one-way culture. But that's the thing, it's a culture. You have to know, otherwise you don't. Because if you don't know the culture, it doesn't make sense. You're just like, huh? You're like, why would you spend so much time, money, and effort on someone who doesn't even know your name? Right? Like that's what a normal, regular person would think about that. But if you're in idol culture, or if you're in J-pop, K-pop, VTuber culture, streamer culture, like, this is normal. Like, everyone does it, right? Everyone's fine with that. Now, I'm not saying the parasocial, I'm saying, like, the culture itself, right? But you draw you like a French girl, absolutely. Imagine drawing Raz in a kawaii maid outfit. Kimo. I'm already in a parasocial relationship with you, you can't decide on... Exactly, yeah, like, that's fine. But the problem that a lot of people have is that no one has been given a book and no one has codified it in a way that shows where the lines are. Everyone knows that being parasocial in itself isn't a bad thing. And everyone knows that being too parasocial is a bad thing. But how do you find a golden medium when you don't know what the two extremes are? What is an extreme black? What is an extreme maximum? Well, actually, we can know the maximum. Like, oh my God, let me mortgage my house so I can send you a $40,000 no. You know, like, that's bad. But like, where is the happy in between? You know? Because there is no such thing as like these type of streamer viewer relationships, or this individual and group relationship, or individual to individual relationship that exists like outside of this. Like, maybe like as a celebrity, but like celebrities have friends. You know, it's a weird amalgam of things that make sense and things that don't make sense. For me personally, right, when I watch streamers, I'm thinking, you know, especially as VTubers, like, you know, if they're playing like a kayfabe, right, like, that's part of their character, that's fine. It can be whatever. I don't care. I'm there for them, right? I'm there for the person behind the screen that's talking, all that stuff. You know, I don't ever think that I'm in an emotional relationship or any relationship whatsoever. Frankly, the way I look at it is that I'm like, at best, a like deep acquaintance, right? Like, they know who I am, they may know what I do for a living, they may know my favorite color, they may know I like this or that, but like, I've never had an emotional conversation with them, and I don't expect to. I've never really opened myself up. We're very much so distanced from each other, right? Like, for your favorite streamer, right? Like, do you know, like, do they know anything about your family? Do they know anything about you, right? Like, it's a very weird situation because it's very odd outside of streaming culture. Because normally, if you have a friend, like, you're going to talk about serious things. You're going to have these deep, intimate conversations. Maybe your friendship may not have boundaries on that. Maybe they do. Maybe you don't talk about that stuff. But either way, you know, you're going to have these weird, like, it's very difficult to make sense of this. And there's a reason why everyone is so confused on it, is because there isn't really a line that everyone can get behind, because everyone's line is different. It's in a different place. Let me set my life around Razzypoo, then he'll notice me. Pog chat where BFFs was Raz after that stream of DS2. I just got drunk. Well, I mean, like, even still with that, right? Like, there's still going to be the arm distancing, which is one of the reasons why it's so odd, and one of the reasons why, like, it's very difficult to describe, because you have all these intricacies, especially when it comes down to, like, you have the streamer and the viewer, right? Where's the line? Now, the streamer decides where the line in the sand is for everything, okay? And it's up to them to enforce it as well. That's also equally important. Actually, that's the most important thing. But the other thing about it, and I think is particularly difficult, is for the things that the streamer hasn't explicitly set, the viewer will find a way, or try to find a way, to figure out where that line is. And that's not a bad thing, right? It's just that, you know, some people do it suavely, other people don't. And the thing that's interesting about that is, let's say we jump the gun to the end instead of the memes and all the stuff we're talking about. you know, you have this perfect relationship with the streamer and viewer. You're in equilibrium. Every line in the sand is drawn. You don't cross it. And it's kind of just like watching, that's hard. That's hard, you know? Like, how do you make sense of that? I'm genuinely asking, like, how do you make sense of that? Like, for me personally, like, I've never had any of those emotional attachments or anything like that. I've only kind of looked at them as, you know, they're entertaining, they provide me value, and I'm very grateful for that. So I feel like I should, you know, reward them with, you know, a subscription or something like that. Or, it's kind of like quid pro quo in a sense, but at the same time, it's like, it's not quid pro quo because the only reason I'm doing it is because I believe in them and I want to support them. That's where I'm at. But then again, there's also all the nuances, and that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. Also, I see a clip in the Discord that's scary. Okay, I think I've talked more than enough on this crap, but I can't believe that my jury duty went from basically being just, I'm worried about being selected on the trial, to just from that girl highlighting her book. But do you guys have anyone that you would like me to raid? Any recommendations? I want to get back into raiding again. I feel like I've done a bad job of doing so. I need to get the achievement where I raid like someone with like 2 viewers, I think it was. And I don't have a list of people, so if anyone got anyone, let me know. Also, I don't have a raid message because I'm an idiot. Hold on, let me find it. No, I have a raid message, right? Surely I have a raid message. Hey, there we go. That's the non-sub sub raid. There we go. I gotta add these as commands. I'm so stupid. Warrior Gaming Actual. What are they up to? I'm curious. Are they gaming? Are they tactical? Are they warriors? Oh, they're playing CS. Poggers. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and raid over here. Raid, how do I spell it? Warrior Gaming Actual. There we go. So also just a warning, this one is going to be a mature audience. So if you don't want mature stuff, go ahead and head out. But I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me and having fun. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for sticking around for my stories, talking with me, hanging out. You made not only a great day even better by just hanging out and having fun. So I want to say thank you for that. Friday, we're going to be doing VR chat. So if you have any worlds that you want me to check out, send me a DM or anything like that. I have a few taken up, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But anywho, please consider the raid message. And also, whenever we raid, please consider a follow. It helps out. And especially if they're not affiliated, i.e. they have less than 50 followers, it means the world to them. If you want to make someone's day, click a button. Literally lives in our head. Even me, after hitting affiliate like months ago, I still, it does not ever leave you. So again, thank you guys so much for hanging out. Remember as well, I'm going to put in the socials here. I gotta shill the shill. I am the shill. I gotta shill. But please consider checking out the Twitter as well as the Discord and YouTube and all the good stuff. But anyway, I want to say thank you guys very much. It seems like he's a veteran as well. Really cool. So let's go ahead and join them. So as always, thank you. Take care. Razanara, I finally remembered my exit. And I will see you Friday. So remember, no stream tomorrow, but Friday will be VR chat. So that's going to be fun. Anywho, I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm silly. Where's my raid message? Ah, there we go.